The main thing that I really want to convey to the public at large is that we're actually doing this. A lot of people claim that they're doing breeding, but they're not actually doing it. They're just
Mhm.
chucking pollen. And we're actually taking the time to do it. We're doing minimum populations of, 100 plants, and that's minimum. And then we're doing inbreeding steps for multiple generations. And sometimes you don't like what you see and you have to go back a step. So we're not just blindly stumbling forward because we've inbred. No, that step that we made was a poor selection, or we need to go back a step, or actually on this step we don't want to inbreed, we want to back cross. So we are taking the time to do this right, and we're putting the effort, the time, the love, the money, the heart into this process so that we can have great smelling, great performing, great growing, vigorous F1 hybrids, and different commercially available crosses available for folks to grow. To deciding um, what inbred lines to move forward with and how to move forward. Some of those data points include days to maturity, which in an indoor setting, it's easy to be exact. In the outdoor setting, it's a little more difficult because you're really latitude dependent. So, we might say late September, early October, mid October, late October, but days to maturity is definitely important. We've got cannabinoid content and terpene content, and it's not just their content or what the average potency is, or average terpene content is. It's also the standard deviation amongst the population. So if you want to go through your field of 200 plants and pick your nicest Mendo Fatso, which is one of the crosses that we've been working on and I'm loving, you might pick the nicest one. It's glowing, it's sparkling, it's perfect, it smells amazing, and it tests at 31% or 28%. And then you might find a plant next to it that looks fine, but isn't nearly as special as that one, and it's only going to test at 21% or 24%. What we want is for those cannabinoid contents of the whole population for the median to be near the average, as much as possible. So yeah, like I said, cannabinoid content, terpene, terpene content, days to maturity is really important. Um, Looking at the height of the plants, especially when we're thinking about autoflowers, in an ideal environment, is it going to be 36 inches? Is it going to be 48? Is it only going to be 26? So height, its tendency to branch, its leaf mass, how leafy is it? If you're in a foggy, moldy, cooler environment during your finish times, lots of leaf coverage can be really difficult, and the cost to de-leaf can be really prohibitive. And I think as we move forward in the industry, as it consolidates, it'll become more and more prohibitive, especially in outdoor green doors in outdoor greenhouse settings. So yeah, that's just a few of them. But there's a lot to consider when making selections, and there's a lot to measure. So it's both qualitative and quantitative.